Yeah.
Hi everyone! Today I have Charlotte Wibberley with me, and she is the owner of VIP VA. And VIP VA are on a mission to champion, support and nurture the VA industry, pioneering high standards for VA across the globe. Charlotte, let me bring you in. Hi!
Hi, Rachel.
It's nice and sunny here now. It's been miserable all day, but it's lovely and sunny.
Oh.
Do you want to introduce yourself? Tell everyone how your business came about and what your business is.
Oh, thank you for that. So, hi everybody. I'm Charlotte, as Rachel said, and I am a business success coach and the CEO of VIP VA. So I work with virtual assistants to kind of support them and train them up and ensure that they're running their businesses in a safe and secure way, and that they're supporting their clients in the correct way as well. So absolutely love what I do. My business came about, I actually was a VA to start with. So I set up my VA business when I had my first child, my son, back in 2012, really kind of in that, as we all do, searching for the work-life balance and unhappy with the commute into London every day. So set up my VA business and did very well from that. And from there kind of things grew, and I took on coaching and business strategy, which I loved. Bit sick of the whole quest of trying to find a great VA or a VA that had contracts and insurance and would do what they said that they could do. So that was where the idea of VIP VA came about. I wanted to create a community for high-performing VAs, a vetted community where they could come and I guess network and collaborate with other people that were running their businesses in a similar way, continue their professional development, and also then connect with clients that wanted to work with a high-performing VA as well. So really that's how it came about.
Awesome. I need one of those.
Yeah, we all need one of those.
Awesome. So what were you doing before you said you started this once you had your first child. So what were you doing previously to that?
So I was an EA and project manager in the city for around, too many years, around 15 years. So I worked at a blue chip company supporting various directors and managing events, projects, helping them out. And I absolutely loved what I did. But really for me, the driver in setting up my own business was that as soon as I'd had my son, I couldn't particularly face the thought of long days in the city, and also having to do that commute. I wanted to spend as much time as possible with him and, work towards the dream of being at school gates when he started school, which comes to me in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, definitely. How do you find, going from working in quite a corporate environment? Because I always remember the company I worked for, the VAs were like the PAs were like, you wanted to get in with them because they were the ones who ran the CEOs, the directors, and if you ever wanted to go anywhere in the company, you had to be friends with the PAs.
Oh, we were connected. That was the thing.
Yeah, and you were influential on the directors because you organised their schedule, and if we wanted to talk to them or have a review or anything, it was we had to get through you guys.
Yeah, absolutely, like a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, I absolutely loved it. The power of being in control. But joking aside, of helping out, I worked with the same director for around 10 years, and she was absolutely mental in terms of her diary, and just being able to sort of help her out and create some sanity in her crazy life was that's what I enjoyed doing.
Excellent. I think people think of hiring a VA, but they don't really know what VAs do. So do you want to just explain a little bit? Because a lot of the VAs out there don't do what a traditional PA would do.
No, and it's funny. Certainly when
what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah, well, it's confusing for us as well. Certainly when I made the leap, it was my husband that had said to me, exploring what to do, said, well, have you heard about this VA thing? And at the time I was a bit like, no, what's that? And he'd connected me with someone that he'd heard was doing it. And I went and had quite a frank conversation with her about how she'd found it. It was a term that I wasn't really familiar with at all, but made that assumption that actually all of the skills that I'd had from my many years as an EA would be easily transferred, and they were to a certain degree, but it's so much more than that. I think the term VA covers all manner of sins and also all kinds of backgrounds. So it's not just traditional PAs, although there's many of those making the transition into self-employment as a VA, but we've got ex-HR managers, there's finance directors, there's people that do PR, marketing, social media, all of those things can be covered off by a VA. They tend to kind of specialize in a particular area. So really being clear about, if you're looking for a VA, being clear about the areas that you need support in is absolutely key, because different VAs will have different, different areas of expertise.
Wow, definitely. So if someone's looking for a VA, it's basically any job that can be done online.
I think so, yeah. Anything that can.
And then it just gets like honed in to whatever the project is or whatever the need or the specification is. Absolutely.
I guess VAs tend to really be doing stuff mainly in online businesses, although some offline businesses use VAs as well. But it's really kind of anything that's helping with the running of that business, and just working out what you want from that VA or what you want from support for your business is key to being able to fit with the right person.
Yeah, cool. Because it doesn't it doesn't necessarily have to be online stuff, doesn't it? It can be just organising documents or that kind of stuff. So what does VIPVA do in terms of, like, if I was a customer and I was coming to you?
Yep.
Like, how's the process work? That would be good to explain, like, how the process of hiring a VA would work through you.
Sure. So I speak with all of the people that I bring on board to have a client match. So the process basically goes, client looking for a VA, they come to me and would submit either through talking with me or online, quite a comprehensive job profile form, which involves talking about why they started their business, what their goals are, what systems they use, kind of a really good picture about their business and where they're trying to get to and what a VA means to them. They outline what they're looking for in terms of, I guess, personality profiles, good fit for their business. I then go away and find from within my vetted community the 3 top VA matches from what they've told me, and I return those to them to take forward to speak with and work out who's going to be a good fit. So it's kind of like an introductory service, really.
Cool. That sounds great. Like I was saying before, I thought hiring a VA would mean that they would organise me. But then it ended up being a bit more work than I thought for me to organise them. And because a lot of the stuff that I wanted to help them to help me with, the stuff that I could do already, I did get a little bit frustrated. But then I was thinking of a long-term plan. You know, if once they get up to speed, then it'll be so much quicker. Let me just, Tracy says, hi, Rachel and Charlotte. She says, I wish I had the idea of the best way to use a VA.
Okay.
She's an entrepreneur and she has a series of checklists and SOPs, which is standard operating procedures, that others use with their VAs. Yes, we have spoken about this before. So what's the best way to use a VA, like incorporate a VA into your business? What jobs, what's like the first thing that someone would use a VA for?
So I think when you're thinking about any kind of outsourcing, to identify the areas in your business that you absolutely have to do. So first of all, identify the things that you can't. That might be content creation, that might be servicing your clients. Then when you're looking at the rest of the things that you have to do in your business, and don't get me wrong, sometimes this can be a very long list. Think about that you either don't like doing, don't have time to do, or really don't know how to do, and those should be the first things that you outsource in your business. And I think going back to your sort of list of SOPs or handover document, I guess is what you're thinking about. That is really useful when moving not only from doing your, I suppose, what I would call bootstrapping it, as we all do as entrepreneurs in the outset, and doing absolutely everything in our business that is outsourcing, but also for moving from VA to VA. But a good VA, someone that's skilled, someone that brings a lot of experience to the table, should have been honest about what their skill set is, and they should be able to lead you in a lot of tasks. So it shouldn't always be you kind of chasing them. Or I was speaking with a lady this morning that was kind of saying that she thought she would have support, but actually she's doing a lot of hand-holding of her VA or chasing her VA to find out if things have been done. And really that's not the way it should be. It should be the other way around. So finding someone that's a good personality fit, but also that you can trust to be delivering, rather than you having to put in more work. You should be able to outsource, and then, you know, I'm not suggesting you put your feet up and have a cocktail, but that you should be able to then focus on the other tasks. That's the point of it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a great answer. I think the reason why people hire VAs is to like maximize their time so they can make more money or do the things that they love to do. Absolutely. Rather than the accounting or the admin or the even marketing. They don't want to do that. That's not what they're passionate about.
Absolutely.
Cool. So going back to you as an entrepreneur, do you remember when you made your first sale as your own business?
Yes, I do. So that was when oh my God, is there any better feeling when you make the bill and suddenly somebody pays you for stuff? It's, for me, making the transition from employee to being self-employed was quite, you know, profound in terms of different ways of thinking about myself, that whole mindset. The first sale that I made was actually when I was running my VA business, and I'd met up with a guy that I'd known from my employed role who had since left and set up his own consultancy. And I'd genuinely gone to talk with him about, you know, the highs and lows of being self-employed. And actually, as we were talking about this, he suddenly said, hang on, actually, everything that you're offering is what I need. And so he then, that was my first client. So it was,
wow.
Easy, but it was an amazing feeling. I think I came home and cried and kind of sort of said to my husband, somebody will pay me for what I do.
Yay!
That's the sort of the highs of being an entrepreneur, right? Is that you've won that business yourself. Really good feeling.
Excellent. Fab. So one of the next questions is what habits do you do throughout the day that you think add to you being a successful entrepreneur?
So again, one of the struggles that I had when I first moved to being self-employed rather than employed was suddenly working at home and being quite isolated. I found that quite hard. I'd come from a really busy team environment and, you know, used to quite a lot of banter, quite a lot of cheeky banter, and suddenly being at home. So I always make the point of speaking to somebody in the morning. So that could be a client, or it could be one of my members, or it could be my VA, but just getting some interaction with someone. Once my kids have gone to nursery, getting some human interaction with an adult about business is how I start the day. And then in terms of other habits, it's taken me a really, really long time to become disciplined in terms of my working, because we're at home, we're juggling multiple different things. I like putting the washing on. I like doing various other things and being flexible around how I run my business. But I think now I finally, 5 years in, she says, mastered the art of kind of time blocking and staying disciplined in terms of how I work. It's a bit of a challenge for me, because I both love and hate the flexibility of being at home.
Yeah. Cool. Tracy's asked, I've just noticed on my phone, Tracy's like, I put some more comments on. She clearly is wanting a VA. So she put, I want that list of checklists. And her challenge is needing to train people to do things she's either not doing or don't know how to do. So something that she needs to train somebody. But I'm guessing what you'd say is hire somebody that already knows how to do it. But I guess that's the more expensive route. But in the long run, much better. And then she put, yay, lead me. I think that is what a lot of people want, is someone to come in and just take it, you know, and then tell them this is what you need to do. And then they can come back and say, okay, I've got the money to do X, Y, and Z. I guess that's just what a lot of busier, like higher earning entrepreneurs want people to do, is to just swoop in and just take it off their plates.
Absolutely. And I love that Tracy's just come in with that comment, because it was the point I was going to make about cheap being expensive. And absolutely, a lot of the mistakes that some entrepreneurs make when outsourcing for VA is going for the cheap option. And I think you have to ask yourself why that VA is so cheap or has such a low hourly rate, because a good VA that brings I guess, different, high levels of experience and skill to their business, but also has the correct business overheads in terms of contracts, insurance, data protection cover. I mean, essential when you're working with a VA to have at least all of those in place. They're going to have business overheads, and so their hourly rate will be slightly higher. So, I mean, in the UK, the industry average is £25 an hour, and that's, I would say, a minimum to get a really good VA on your side, especially if you want someone that is being proactive and project managing rather than just being reactive and waiting for you to send them a list of things, because that's not the point, right? You want someone that is, as Tracy's saying, to lead you, to be involved in your business and really to be able to see the areas, identify other areas that you might not have recognized that they can add value to and give you back that time to focus on whatever else it is that you need to do in your business.
100%, yes. But I guess the struggle then is people who have never used a VA before. You know, Tracy and I talk about this all the time. We have we have catch-ups like most weeks. and our thing is that if we're paying $5 an hour, we don't mind if the project doesn't turn out as you planned so much. Whereas if you're paying $25 an hour, $30 an hour, and it still doesn't turn out or things go wrong, then it's a lot of money for something that didn't work out. So yeah, we're just like the worst clients ever, aren't we, Tracy?
But no, you're not the worst clients ever. And again, it's like, as you're building your business, you want to find a way that you're able to outsource, but equally you can, as in you can afford to outsource, but equally you're getting good results. And I mean, I guess a great VA is a good investment because you should be getting back way more than you're putting in. So in terms of financial reward, and if that's not happening, you might need to think about who it is that you've got on board, because it might not be a good fit, or they might not have the skills to support you in your business. Because let's face it, most entrepreneurs are crazy busy and they're creatives, and they need somebody to really be that sort of solid person behind the scenes running the show. And you aren't going to get that for $5 an hour.
No, and we recognise that, we know that. So how many hours on a day do you work on average? This is just one of the questions I ask people. If someone's looking to become a VA, like give them a guide of like how many hours they work, and like you say, about £25, is that like the average wage for a VA?
That's the average. I would say that's the industry average for what in the UK for what VAs would charge. Yeah. In terms of hours a day, personally, I drop my kids off and then I work from about 8 till 4 days a week, and Mondays are my day with my kids. But again, because it's your business, I've got VAs in my community that work full time. I've got VAs in my community that work just evenings or weekends. I've got VAs that work a day a week, 2 days a week. It really is kind of your business, your rules in that regard. And the same goes for rate. It depends on the level of experience that VA is bringing to the table, and it depends on the kind of skills that they're offering. So i.e. someone that's doing something quite niche or, you know, intricate infusion software, for example, might charge more than somebody that's doing just social media scheduling. So it kind of is, there's no one size fits all.
Yeah, but I guess that's the beauty of it as well, isn't it? That somebody who's maybe a mum who's still got quite a young child and wants to stay at home, maybe only want to work like 3 or 4 hours a day, but they can still do that and earn, you know, a bit of pocket money for them. So your VIP VA page, is that for people wanting VAs, or is that for people wanting to become VAs, or both?
Both. It's well.
Okay. Let me just put your little link up while we're chatting about it. It's thundering. The back doors are open. Never mind.
So on that page, we often have tips and tricks for people that want to become VAs. Also for existing VAs, in terms of, I've got a membership community, as I say, that's where I do professional development and collaborations and things like that. So it's for them as well, and also for anyone that's looking for in there as well.
Hi, sorry, I just had to go and shut the doors because it was raining in the doors. I had to just go and shut them. Sorry.
That's okay.
Cool. So people who are wanting VAs and people who are wanting to become VAs can go to your Facebook page and contact you and sort out the next steps.
Absolutely.
Perfect. So what motivates you?
So what motivates me now is still what motivated me to start my business. And really that's the quest to have some sort of work-life balance. So I want to have it all. I want to have the time with my children whilst they're young. I want to be a good mum to my 2 kids, but equally I want to follow my own career passions. So I know that especially over the last 5 years before my son Alex has gone to school, I've been putting all the motions in place to have a business that can be supported in school hours, so that actually I can, be that mum at the school gates and pick him up and be flexible enough to be there for him when needs be, but also to have something for myself. It's really important for me to have to work. For one, I'm a far better mum because I work, but I have that other thing for myself as well as being a mum. So really having that, being able to do both those things is what motivates me.
Definitely. I'd 100% agree. And that's why I wanted to set up as well, because when I had my little man, I was like, oh, it's fine. I'll just not work for a little while and be a mum. But your life changes, your role in the world changes, and working just gives you back that little bit of your identity, doesn't it? And your purpose, and just being useful again. People wanting your services and you've been able to help people is just like really opened up, a world of possibilities to me that I thought had gone when I quit my high flying job.
I agree with you. I thought that, taking that year out to be a mum when I was on mat leave was going to be fabulous and coffee and cake and, haha, I don't have to work. And I quite quickly thought, actually, this isn't for me. I love my children to bits, but I can't be with them all day, every day. And I need something else for me in terms of, as you said, in terms of your own identity. And that's why I set up what I did, and now why I do what I do, to kind of support other women to do the same sort of thing and feel empowered that they can set up their own businesses and not, think that they have to just stick with the 9-to-5 that's not serving them anymore.
Definitely. I think some people find it hard, don't they? Especially if they're in a position that when they go back, they either have to take a lower job, with less hours, or go back full time. And that's like a hard decision to make, isn't it?
Yeah, no, impossible, right? Because
I'm glad I was not in that position.
No, and I think genuinely, before I went on maternity leave with my son, I was convinced back full time, 5 days a week. But then having children just changes everything and changed how I felt about everything. So I suddenly just didn't want that anymore. It didn't suit me anymore.
Yeah, definitely. So we have another question from Tracy on my phone, because it doesn't seem to be coming up on here. So she says, seems like anyone who doesn't want to work a 9-to-5 can label themselves as a VA or a coach. There are quite a lot of VAs and coaches out there, but for a general VA, I'm guessing she's meaning someone who does more the admin VA stuff. What do you suggest as credentials? So is there any particular qualifications that we should look out for when hiring a VA to do maybe like admin work or organizational stuff?
Oh, Tracy, I've got a free ebook on my website you need, which is all around questions that you need to ask your VA before taking them on, but that's bye-bye.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll put that in the comments for everybody.
You are thinking about taking on a general VA, so somebody that's going to do more of the organisational stuff. I'd be looking, I wouldn't necessarily say qualifications are necessary, I'd be looking for more experience. So I'd be looking for somebody that has previously been a PA or an EA. So as opposed to somebody perhaps that's come from a social media management background or marketing, I'd be looking for someone that specifically has managed people in that regard, because I think that is a skill in itself, being able to organise somebody effectively.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Okay, so you mentioned about your guide. Is there anything else that you want to direct people towards? Any other freebies that you have?
So for people looking for VAs, there's the ebook, as I say. on my website. If people are wanting to become a VA or wanting to get more information about joining up as a VA to my members club, then they can do that. They can also find that on my website. I've got a couple of other ebooks and stuff around getting started with your VA business, and various sort of training courses and bits and bobs there. So I'm always happy to have a natter with anyone about their concerns or questions as well. So they can.
That would be great. I think we'll definitely be having a chat with you. My camera's frozen, so just ignore that fact that I'm just frozen in time. So last question I want to ask you is, what are your hobbies and what do you do when you're not working?
Okay, well, with a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, mainly my weekends or out of work time are spent colouring, sticking, going to park.
Amazing.
Yeah, this weekend was a flower fairy and elf festival. So basically kid-related things. If I do get a moment of adult-only time, then tennis. I quite like a game of tennis, but that's far between at the moment. But
Cool, awesome. Well, it's been fab talking to you, and I feel like this is a conversation we may need to carry on with, or we should maybe do like a little series of how to find a VA, or how's the best way to go about hiring a VA. That would be great.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Cool. All right, so I've put your Facebook group in the comments, and then I'll add your link to your website and your freebies in there so people can find them. And yeah, we'll speak soon. Thank you
very much. Bye, everyone.
Bye. I'm still here, by the way.